Do you guys remember this case? Oh my goodness, it is so excellent. You should have bought one when they were available. This is a blast from the past here in the Nutnfancy project. My, how time flies. Look at my highly selected stickers there for deception purposes. What do we have? There is no Planet B, banned guns, other foo-foo stickers, multicolored peace sticker. It's a guitar case, right? Well, you know it isn't. You know it isn't. No, it's a combat shotgun case. Kind of heavy because it is carrying double-aught buckshot and slugs ready for action. Let me open this up. In the confines of the TMP bunker. Look at this. This case is long gone. No doubt some leftists had a problem with it. I had bought it from Amazon. I told you guys when I did the review on the V3 TAC 13, buy it when you see it. And it was gone rather quickly. I think like 6 months after I did the review, the cases were taken off Amazon. I haven't been able to see them anywhere else. I don't need one. I mean, I got this one. Cast member. Making another appearance here in this combat shotgun review. And here's the shotgun that it carries. Oh my gosh. Once again, let's take a trip down regret lane. And I'm talking about you, not me, because I bought this. Long gone, the original Remington out of business. There are some of their products making a comeback, you know, this or that corporate entity takes over the Remington name, produces products in its name. But for all intents and purposes, the company as it used to exist, last time I checked, is no longer available. You should have bought this when I reviewed it. I said as much in that review. I said, buy it now. Guns like this will be banned, be gone. I went to Gunbroker, just seeing what a V3 TAC 13 5+1 semi-automatic pistol shotgun is costing now. I saw a buy it now price of $2,700. Another buy it now price of $1,600. I think that is more in line with reality, but I only saw 3 listings, which tells me guys who have this are not selling it. They're keeping it forever. This is a great shotgun. The V3 variation, all talked about in the review. Go watch the review if you want. Really excellent. 6 pounds, 4 ounces. There's another reason I'm bringing this on camera as we kick off the Beretta A300 Ultima Patrol Combat Shotgun review. I wanted to tell you guys that don't know about European loading versus American loading. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So this V3 right now is simulating that it's been shot empty, right? We could throw a shell in here, push the bolt release, action release, and it would load. One thing I want to show you is that if I load in an American semi-auto and actually pump shotgun in the tube, right? And then I rack the bolt, notice that it will automatically drop into the chamber. That is an American way of charging your shotgun. Now the European way, of which I have mentioned several times in several reviews, FNSLP is one of those reviews, is different. I do prefer it because it allows the round in the chamber to be ejected without necessarily having to go through the entire magazine tube, right? So let me show you this. Here's the star of the show, the Beretta A300 Ultima Patrol. This will add on to my Beretta 1301 review, and I believe that was a Langdon tactical variation sent in by a viewer. So that, not just a viewer, a donor, be a donor, link below. Yeah, and that gun, I'll talk about as we go along here. There are some variances between the two shotguns, but let's get back to the loading thing. So I'm gonna put, these are just snap caps, heavily used by myself and the family, just for training. Awesome. So we load one in the magazine tube, right? And then I charge it. Nothing happens, right? It does not load around. This is the European way of doing it. And what you have to do is drop the shell with this button right here. Then it will go underneath the lifter. Then you charge it, and then it's loaded. So we'll start off the review with that. right there. I do prefer this system. Once you get used to it, it's not weird. You might be looking and go, wow, how would you ever get used to that? It's really easy to do. And by the way, it will still do like that other one will. It will still lock open. Last shot, you drop a round in, press the action release button, feed through the tube, and you're off to war. There you go. Okay.
Loads smooth too. Like it seems to be better than most. Yeah.
Let me tell you this, thanks to Gunny's, a Great American Gun Store, for loaning me this beautiful A300 Ultima Patrol. I'm very excited to have tested it and now to review it here in the bunker TMP style. My overall feeling on this gun, it's just like the 1301. It's absolutely outstanding. It's superlative quality. It is a no kidding, I would say combat shotgun and also competitive shotgun. And I've always said competitive shotguns actually have to be very, very good, very, very durable, because dudes are going to be running tons and tons of rounds through those things. I don't think necessarily a combat shotgun, let's say a departmental shotgun, well, I was going to say that it won't see the same rounds count. It really depends on the department, how well they train their officers with the guns. But I've seen some semi-automatic police shotguns that really don't have that many rounds through them. Whereas I've seen competitive shotguns, like in 3-gunner competition type shotguns, that are really beat up. And these are guys who get into it, that it's their life, that's what they do. And if it's not just a 3-gun, it's some form of competitive combat shotgunning, which is super fun. It's just a game. Jumping into philosophy of use, therefore, this would be first and foremost, of course, a combat shotgun, one you could trust your life to competitive shotgun. Although they make better ones for competition, namely the Ultima Comp, I think is it. I think that has a lot more rounds. I think it's a 9+1. This is 7+1. Other variations are the Ultima Turkey, Snow Goose, Ultima Field, Ultima Hunting. They are all based on the A300 Action and the mobile choke barrel. So it has a mobile choke system on it, unlike the 1301, right? That's a different choke system altogether. But that's your philosophy of use, basically. I mean, home defense, yeah, it's a little bit pricey. You could have just a pump shotgun for home defense, and I think it would serve you well. 870, 890, Mossberg 500, and some others I've covered too, include the FN product, discontinued sadly. But those are great home defense options. But this, of course, could be a home defense gun. On we go into features, because this is going to be down and dirty. This combat shotgun review. 6 pounds, 13 ounces is what I weighed it last night on my scale. That's in the ballpark. Most of the high quality aluminum receivered semi-auto combat style shotguns are going to be in that weight category. So we're under 7 pounds. That's pretty darn good. The overall length is 38 inches with a 19-inch barrel. Again, 7+1. And I like that because we're not looking at a 5+1 configuration, which sometimes we see on imported shotguns, which is nonsense. Now, I say that in that V3 that I just showed you, that's a 5+1, but that's a special purpose, very short overall length shotgun. That's a different philosophy of use, right? This is in close confines within a vehicle, underneath a jacket for your airsoft game, something like that. Features we go. First up, I love the sights on this thing. They are excellent, although not metallic. That may make some of you guys sad. Adjustable at the rear, apparently. I did not have to adjust them because it shot pretty much point of aim out of box. Love it, love it, love it. Freaking awesome. Totally awesome. We do have a fiber optic pipe here in the front. See that? Wing protected. No, I don't care if they're not metal, i.e. aluminum. And unlike the 1301, these sights did not shoot loose. Yeah, so the Langdon Tactical, I don't know if it was from Beretta or Langdon Tactical, those sights shot loose, and I had to actually, I think I put a red dot on it or something like that. But it was really surprising. I was like, what the heck? These sights are fantastic. I would not change them. You do have a 7-slot pick rail on top of the aluminum receiver of the A300 Ultima Patrol. And by the way, this would be the variation I would recommend to you guys. It does come in a very excellent multicam version I did see. I have a feeling that one's going to be very hard to obtain. Good luck with that. I don't think that will be out there too often. This one is, by the way, Cerakoted in dark, looks like metallic gray. And it looks like the barrel is just parkerized. I don't think that's Cerakoted on the barrel. Yeah, so if you want to throw a red dot on it, you could, but I really love the sights on this. They're totally excellent. Mobile choke system, it does come with a couple. I think I have the mod one in there, and just like most of the shotguns I test, it will come loose. You really need to tighten them down pretty good, especially when you're feeding it buckshots. There you go. You got your magazine extension right here. I love this. Like, we have the barrel magazine clamp included. This is factory. You don't have to put one on. In my estimation, in my experience of combat shotgunning, which will date all the way back to approximately, I don't know, early 80s, this is necessary. If you don't have it, sometimes your tube can loosen on you. If you have, not this gun, but an extended tube, it can just kind of go out there and get bent. Again, I'm not talking about this gun. I'm talking like a tube that you put on, extended tube. Anyways, it's made of nylon, fiber reinforced nylon, really excellent. It does have a sling cup in there if you would like to put one on. Did not loosen on me. I really love they included that. And again, this is a pretty lightweight, overall lightweight shotgun. The forearm is superb. On the A300 Ultima Patrol, it is really, really excellent. The traction is reminiscent of the industry standard in my book, and that is the discontinued FN SLP. Another great competition shotgun. And by the way, those are still running greatly, and I say reliably in competitive circles. FN SLP, you'll still see them all over the place in competition. They just keep going and going. But this has the same level of traction, just really sharp, purposeful checkering on the synthetic forearm. We have an M-LOT slot right here, and this did not loosen on me during shooting either. Getting back to the Langdon Tactical Beretta 1301, the stock on that one loosened on me. Yeah, again, I was just like, what the heck? This is an expensive semi-custom or custom shotgun, and it loosened on me. There are several issues with that, which I did correct, and then afterwards the gun tested quite well. I love the 1301. Don't think I don't. I absolutely love it. The barrel we talked about. When I look inside here, it looks like it's matte chromed, which is not unusual. I know the 1301 is chromed too, but this one seems to be chromed as well. A difference between this gun and the 1301, if you care, is that other one has an extended forcing cone on it in the barrel system with what they call the stellium barrel. Okay, I forget if I mentioned that in the 1301 review. I don't know. Is this a big deal for you guys? I'm going to be honest with you guys, and the answer is absolutely not. It doesn't make a world of difference. It's more for, I guess, I'll be nice and say it's for a super high level shotgun competitor, someone who really can tell a difference in spreads and stuff. Not me. And it's also for marketing. So you can say, well, look at how much different this is than the A300, and we're going to charge you, by the way, a $600 price difference between this gun and the 1301. Holy cow. Yeah, so enlarged forcing cone, okay, whatever. Now another difference when we go back here, this is a standard kind of semi-auto. Again, that's a snap cap there. Semi-auto setup, so it has more of a standard bolt. It's not the 3-lug rotating bolt you'll find in the Beretta 1301. Now, I'm a big fan of rotating bolts. I did say this in the 1301 review. I think it does make that gun very fast. I think Beretta says it's 36% faster than other semi-autos. I think that's very difficult to quantify. All I know is that gun, the 1301, once I got it squared away, was extremely fast, very quick into action, soft shooting. I absolutely loved it, and I love rotating bolts. And in the 1301, you actually have a chromed bolt, and it's locking into a chromed recess within the barrel. So there is a discussion that actually makes the gun a little bit smoother. To be honest, I could not detect that at all. Maybe I'm just not good enough, but I don't think that matters at all. And by the way, I said 3-lug. I think it's a 2-lug bolt on the 1301. So sorry. This one is more traditional. So we have a big extractor you can see here grasping that snap cap. And we have a traditional recoil spring, i.e. rat tail, that will come down into the traditional stock. So one advantage the 1301 has over this is that the recoil springs are actually contained, I think, I know they're here, but I'm trying to think if they're above or below the magazine tube. No, they're over the magazine tube, I believe. But the recoil springs on the 1301 are up here. This is more traditional. It goes down the stock. Therefore, you cannot run a pistol-gripped mag pull stock like you could with a pump shotgun. So if that's important to you, spend the extra money, get the 1301. For me, I'm a big believer in a traditional stock, especially when it's just like this one. This one actually has an adjustable length of pull, a very short recoil pad, about a 1/2 inch thick, but I didn't really mind it. I put the spacer in here. It does come with some capability to adjust that length of pull. I just love this stock. No big surprise. I've said that for all stocks like this. It's fantastic. So do I really care that the recoil spring, action spring is down here? No, I don't. And let's get back to the speed. Did I notice that the 1301 was faster than the A300 Ultima Patrol? No, they're identical. I think anyone who says differently, I think they probably either are kidding themselves or they just want it, they want to believe it, or perhaps they're trying to sell you some kind of product or an upgrade. So I'd just be careful. They're equally fast. I mean, I shot this thing. It's so damn fast. It's as fast as any semi-auto shotgun I've shot, the A300. Is it a more traditional design? Maybe. But damn, son, it's good. And some guys are saying, well, it only has one op rod versus the dual op rods of the 1301. It's nice and strong, though. Again, I just didn't see a problem with that, and I don't foresee any problems with that, even after a hard life. I think this A300 will be just fine. Again, don't interpret that I don't like the 1301. I love the 1301. I would buy a 1301. It's highly recommended. But the question is it worth another $600 to buy that Beretta product over this one when you are buying it as a combat shotgun for your family, your friends, your close friends, for without rule of law? I'd just probably go A300. That's just what I'm telling you. We have a polymer trigger guard right here. No problem with that. Then we go to the bottom of the A300, and damn, is it awesome. The loading gate on this is so excellent, way better than, in this case, the 1301. And that, notice it's flat right here. I think I mentioned in the 1301 that it had kind of some sharp edges. My glove would get caught, but this is all flattened out. Apparently, they consulted with some dudes and redesigned this, and I'm like, okay, that's good, I guess. But if we go back to this now ancient V3 TAC 13, its loading gate is pretty excellent too. No sharp edges, nice and fast. And they have a red follower in that one, which the A300 lacks. That all combat shotguns should have an orange or red follower, just so you know when you're empty, says me. This one's just normal. One thing you want to watch out about on these European shotguns, the A300 and the 13-1's no different. Sometimes when you're loading, so let's say you have a round in the chamber, you put your safety on, you're stoking it through the magazine tube. If you release it and the shell doesn't go in the magazine tube and it goes underneath the lifter, let me see if I can, let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and load this one in the chamber, and then I don't push it all the way. I hope I can duplicate this. And then I release it and it goes underneath the lifter. See that? There's really no way to get that out unless, I guess you could like push the shell through the slot there into the magazine tube. You don't want to do that. You're going to have to cycle it. So either shoot or cycle it, and then you'll be okay. So just be aware of that. This is your shell dropper right there button. All European shotguns have that. The action release button is absolutely perfection on the A300. It's like competition level. That's how good it is. The charging handle, that looks like it was lifted from a 1301. I've seen photos of the A300 Ultima Patrol and they have a smaller charging handle on it. This one looks just like it came off the 1301. It's absolutely perfection. It's strong, easy to manipulate. Trigger, I don't know if I measured it. Let me just give you a subjective indication. It's okay. It's not amazing, but it's a shotgun. I'm thinking it pulls around 5 pounds or something like that. I guess for a shotgun, that's pretty darn good. And metallic trigger, of course. And again, I want to reiterate that this is a factory out-of-the-box, non-lubed shotgun when I initiated testing. This is generally what I do. I don't want to spend time taking a gun apart, detail stripping it, lubing it. I just don't have the interest or time for that. And I just shoot it, and if it has problems, I just tell you here in the video. That's how I do it. So this gun had 0 problems. Let's go into shooting now. How did it shoot? I'll say it again, 0 problems. And I'm talking with birdshot, different qualities of birdshot, like some stuff that I've had sitting around that had some rust on the case. Not a lot, I wiped it off. Ran that 100%. I didn't do anything with the gas system. And as far as I know, this is not an adjustable gas system, or I should say it's a self-adjusting gas system. Technically a blink gas system, i.e. the op rod is different. The gas system itself is the same, but the op rod configuration, the bolt configuration is different between the two guns, blah, blah, blah. It was 100% reliable. Then I threw in full power slugs, low recoil buckshot, high recoil buckshot, 100% the A300 Ultima Patrol, 3-inch Magnum chambering, by the way. I was really impressed, and I'm just sitting there laughing when I'm shooting it. I'm like going, this is how it should be. I mean, I'm a big believer in the KISS principle. I think most of us are, and yet so many shotguns, supposedly combat shotguns, do violate that concept and make it difficult for us to run and train with it. And that's really most of where the problems will come in. They will be manifested with shooting low power loads like birdshot. Although in the project, I'm generally using what I call a pheasant load. It's still a high base load, and I just like that. It recoils more. It simulates buckshot shooting better. Although I did run plenty of just low quality, low base to this just to test it, and again, it was fantastic. I did pattern it for you. This is something I rarely do. I just decided to do it for you this time. This is number 12 buck with that modified choke tube in there. And what's the distance that I say? 12 yards. Decimating, absolutely decimating. The big holes are caused by the wadding of the shot shells. Now, if we go back to the Beretta 1301, and again, it was a Langdon tactical one. And I mentioned this in a review. It actually, I hadn't seen this before. It actually jammed with federal slugs.
Pairs.
It had problems with federal slugs, and I believe it had a problem with a buckshot load. And I was like astonished. That with the stock loosening, the sights loosening, I was kind of pissed to be sure, but I loved shooting the shotgun. I knew it had potential. So I took it apart, I lubricated that 1301, and after that, as memory serves, it was 100% after that. So there you go. I'm just throwing it in. I've never seen a combat shotgun, especially one from a high-end maker like Beretta, have problems with full power combat loads, be it, you know, buckshot or slugs. I did not slug this out for you. Maybe I will. If this gets a ton of views, I might just break out a little video of us slugging the A300 Ultima Patrol, see how it does. In that case, I probably would put a red dot on it for maximum accuracy. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too, this has an enlarged ejection port. And would I buy one of these? Hands down, the answer is yes. And again, I love the 1301 as well.
They recoil harder than,
but it is more expensive. The question is, does it represent $600 worth of value? The retail, last night I checked on the retail of a 1301 tactical variation, and it was $1,720. That's a lot of money for a combat shotgun, especially with a competitive option I'm going to show you. This one is $1,150. Gunny's is selling it for $1,050. Now, it's still a Beretta. That means it's backed up by the Beretta reputation. They are an outstanding company. They have great service if you ever have a problem with your shotgun. I'm a big lover of Beretta products as a whole. I love them. I would say I would go with the A300 Ultima Patrol. And that's why, and sorry it's taking me a while. It's taken me some months to get this shotgun. Had to get it ordered and have it shipped to Gunny's from Beretta for loan from Gunny's because I wanted to do a comparison and contrast. If you have a 1301, definitely don't sell it. But this one is, I think, every bit as good as a 1301. That's right, I said it. I don't think the 1301 is a better combat shotgun than this. I don't care what anybody says. I've shot enough shotguns. I know how they recoil, how they work. I just, you know, they're both Berettas, for crying out loud. They're awesome. Competitive options. Well, I mentioned the FNSLP. That's been discontinued. I still have mine. Never selling it. That's a standard of measure. The only thing about the FNSLP is it has a light piston and a heavy loads piston you have to swap in. I just run the light piston and deal with the wear and tear because it won't have that many rounds through its life cycle unless I end up competing with it. Another one that I don't have, I may overlay imagery, is the outstanding Mossberg 940 JM Pro. That is a fantastic shotgun. It is competitively oriented, but it can serve in a combat shotgun role as well. And of course, I'm focusing on the semi-auto shotguns. And this one I have in the bunker. This is the Stoeger M3000. Did I write a price on this? It's the same weight, 6 pounds, 14 ounces, 7+1 configuration, Stoeger M3000. TMPers off my review bought this. I've heard only good reports, and I'm talking from TMPers who have shot theirs a butt ton. That's actually a phrase, butt ton. The charging handle on this is just as good. Has a smaller action release. We have aluminum sights here if you care. So here you have a Turkish built, fully adjustable. I will say the adjustment on this is way superior than the A300. The sights overall are better, superior. Standard choke tubes. This is a fantastic shotgun. It really is. Is it as good as an A300? There's your loading gate on the M3000. I would say yes. What? There's no way that would be good as a Beretta. Bro, let me tell you this. I've been shooting Turkish shotguns for coming up on 25 years now. Oh, actually, probably before that. No, we'll call it 25 years. They are, and when they're done right, they are very, very excellent. The Versan 2000 I've had forever. That's a fantastic gun. It's basically a licensed Beretta, from my understanding. This is a great shotgun. Same type of stock, same type of, you know, action spring, rat tail going into the stock. This is what I like. This is so fast in the action, really easy, and it's just a fantastic shotgun. And you could buy how many of these? I don't know the price on this now, but I would say let's just be conservative and say 2 for the price of one A300 Ultima Patrol. And some other semi-auto shotguns. Get into my shotgun playlist, still in YouTube, I believe. Thank heavens Trump won. Thank heavens Trump won, because it allows us to continue the gun stuff here in the project. Had he not won, my days, and I think all GunTuber days, would be very limited. Very limited. This is a fabulous gun, though. I really don't see any downsides other than if you want to say the price. And I forgot to mention, by the way, there's another cutie point down here. It has a rubber plug in it if you want to throw a sling on it. There's really no downsides to it. It's a Beretta. I love Beretta. If you get the multicam version, drop a comment down below. I'm going to be super jealous. That looks fantastic. Yes. I'm sure you're going to pay like $200 to $300 more for that, but it's awesome. Factory coated. And by the way, this is compatible, I think, with most Beretta 1301 accessories. So there you go. Nutnfancy Project. Thank you so much for your support. Become a donor. Stay there for the rest of your life. I lose donors every month. It is very, very demotivating for me to see that. This is a Condor hat. I'll put a link below. I didn't do a watch check. Let me do that very quickly. This is a Victorinox Inox Professional Diver Titanium. Another watch that has gone. So I don't even think you can find this variation anymore. I think there are different Inox out there. I'll put links below per chance. And we are done. Thanks so much. Come see us again real soon. Nutnfancy.